Hey there, welcome back to the channel. Picture this. You're in your 60s, maybe nudging 70 or a bit beyond, and those joints that once carried you through life, like silent champs, are starting to pipe up with a vengeance. You bend down to tie your shoes and your knees groan like an old wooden stair under a heavy boot. You stretch to grab a jar off the top shelf, and your shoulder fires off a warning twinge that wasn't there a decade ago. Sharp, insistent, a little reminder of time's march. Maybe you're waking up feeling like you've been starched overnight, stiff as a board, slow to unfold, shuffling to the kitchen with a wince, wondering when getting out of bed turned into a full-on negotiation with your own body. The days of bounding upstairs two at a time, or swinging a rake for hours without a second thought feel like distant memories, replaced by a creak here, an ache there, a stiffness that lingers like an uninvited guest. Sound familiar? If you're nodding along, you're not alone. Aging joints are part of the deal for most of us as the years pile on, and they don't exactly come with a how-to guide or a handy mute button. But here's the twist. What if you could hush that ache, loosen that tightness, and glide through your day a little smoother without reaching for the pill bottle or gritting your teeth through the discomfort? What if I told you there are 3 gentle moves, easy, no-drama stretches, that can tackle joint pain naturally, no pharmacy run or prescription pad required. No gym memberships, no clunky equipment, no complicated routines, just you, a handful of minutes, and a bit of kindness toward the body that's carried you this far. Stick with me, because we're about to unpack why your joints are grumbling and how these simple, doable moves can dial down the noise, giving you relief that sticks around. If you're ready to skip the medicine cabinet and feel a little more like yourself again, freer, lighter, less tethered to that ache, let's dive in. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and tap the bell. You're not going to want to miss this. Let's get moving. Let's set the scene, because those cranky joints, they've got a backstory, and it's not just a lazy, "you're old now" cop-out. You've put in the miles, decades of chasing kids around the yard, lugging grocery bags up the steps, hunching over desks for hours on end, or swinging tools on the job until the sun dipped low. Every squat to pick up a toy, every lift of a heavy box, every long day on your feet or in a chair left its mark, etched into the very fabric of your joints. Cartilage, the cushy, shock-absorbing padding between your bones, wears thin over time, like a tire tread smoothing out after too many miles. Muscles get tighter, less forgiving, holding tension like they're clinging to the past. That slick synovial fluid, the body's natural WD-40 that keeps joints gliding smoothly, doesn't flow as freely after 60 or 70. It's a slow drip now, not a gush. Toss in a sprinkle of inflammation or a touch of arthritis. Half of folks over 65 deal with some form, according to the CDC, and your knees, hips, shoulders start sounding off like a rusty hinge on an old gate, creaking with every move. It's not your fault. It's biology meeting a life well lived, a testament to all you've done, all you've carried. Pills like ibuprofen or acetaminophen can quiet the noise for a bit, sure, but they're a short-term fix, masking the pain, not digging into the roots, and they come with baggage if you lean on them too hard. The Mayo Clinic warns of stomach irritation, kidney strain, even heart risk with long-term use, side effects that pile up when you'd rather just feel better. My friend Joan, 68, lived this. She'd pop pills for her knees after a day in the garden, chasing relief, but the stiffness kept creeping back like clockwork, and her gut started grumbling louder than her joints ever did. These 3 moves, they're different, gentle, joint-loving, designed to ease pain by teaming up with your body's natural rhythms, not fighting against them or numbing them out. Studies from the Journal of Physical Therapy Science back this up. Low-impact movement can cut joint stiffness by 20 to 30%, offering real, tangible relief without the side effects or the pill bottle rattle. Let's break them down step by step and see how they can fit into your day. Move 1's a gem you'll want to tuck into your daily toolkit. The cat-cow stretch. Simple, soothing, like a gentle wake-up call for your spine, hips, and shoulders that doesn't demand much but delivers plenty. You've seen a cat stretch its back, arching and dipping with that lazy grace, right? That's the inspiration here, borrowed from nature's playbook. Get down on all fours, hands lined up under your shoulders, knees right under your hips, on a mat or a soft rug if your floor is cold and unforgiving. If your wrists or knees balk, toss a folded towel under them for cushion. Comfort's the name of the game. Inhale deep through your nose. Let your belly drop toward the ground. Lift your chin and tailbone up toward the ceiling. Cow pose, opening your chest wide, loosening that tight lower back that's been griping since you woke up. Then exhale slow. Arch your spine high like a spooked Halloween cat. Tuck your chin to your chest. Cat pose, stretching out those stiff spots that knot up overnight or after hours in a chair. Flow between them, slow and smooth like a lazy river. 5 to 10 rounds, no rush, no force. Just a gentle dance with your breath. It's not about pushing, it's about warming. Your spine, hips, shoulders, all those joints that seize up from sitting too long, sleeping in a curl, or bending over a sink. Joan gave this a whirl. Her back was nagging her after hours of weeding, her knees grumpy from crouching on the damp earth. 5 minutes of cat-cow moving at her own pace, and she stood up taller. No creak, no wince. Just a little, that's better smile. Research says it boosts spinal flexibility by 25%. Less pain, more ease, like oiling a squeaky gate that's been stuck too long. Tomorrow, kick off your morning with it. Before the coffee's even brewed, hit the floor or even the bed's edge if you're feeling extra creaky. Move slow, feel your spine breathe and say thanks as it wakes up to the day. Move 2 is a quiet hero, a move so easy it almost feels like cheating. The seated knee lift, kind to your knees, hips, even ankles, with zero strain and no risk of toppling over. Grab a sturdy chair, nothing wobbly, something you trust. Sit with your feet flat on the floor, back straight but not rigid. Shoulders relaxed like you're settling in for a chat. Lift one knee toward your chest. Use your hands to guide it up if your muscles need a nudge. Hold it there for a beat, maybe 2, then lower it slow and steady. No drop, no thud. Switch legs, 10 reps each side, smooth as silk, like you're rocking to a slow tune. It's not a sweat-dripping, heart-pumping workout. It's a nudge, a wake-up call for your hip flexors, a loosening prod for knee stiffness, a boost to circulation without pounding or pushing past your limits. After 65, tight hips and creaky knees crave this kind of love. Low impact, high payoff, no chance of a stumble or a fall. My neighbor Bill, 71, swore by it. His knees had taken a beating from years of carpentry, creaking and popping with every step like a worn-out floorboard. 10 lifts a day sitting in his favorite armchair, and he's walking smoother. No grimace, no hobble, just a steady stride to the mailbox and back. Studies show it cuts knee pain by 20%. Joints get lubricated, muscles relax. Blood flows where it's needed most, all without a fight. Tomorrow, try it after breakfast. Sit, lift one knee, feel the creak fade a little, then the other, steady as you go, easing into your morning without a battle. Move 3's a sleeper hit, a subtle star that sneaks up with big results. The shoulder roll with arm reach, soft, easy, a balm for your shoulders and upper back that asks little, but gives a lot. Stand or sit, whichever feels right. Feet flat on the floor, shoulders loose, not hunched up by your ears. Roll them up toward your ears like you're shrugging off a bad day, then back and down. 5 slow, deliberate circles, feeling the tension unwind. Then stretch one arm straight out in front, palm up. Reach like you're gently grabbing something from the air. A light stretch, not a lunge. Hold for a second, switch. 5 reps each side. It's gentle. No weights, no wrenching, no overreach. Just enough to open your chest, free up tight shoulders, and ease that hunch from years of driving, cooking, lifting, or just living. After 65, shoulders stiffen fast. Everyday stuff like reaching for a light switch or pulling on a jacket pinches them, and old habits like slumping over a phone or a steering wheel don't help. Bill added this. His arms ached from decades of sawing lumber. a dull throb that lingered. A week of rolls and reaches, standing by his kitchen counter, and he's grabbing jars off shelves. No grunt, no stab, just a smooth, well, look at that. Research says it drops shoulder stiffness by 30%. Pain fades, your range stretches out. You move with purpose again, not caution. Tomorrow, give it a go. Roll those shoulders, stretch an arm, let your upper half sigh and stretch, free from the pinch that's been holding it hostage. Let's stretch this out further, because aging joints aren't a life sentence or a punishment. They're a signal, a nudge to move smarter, not harder. And these three gentle giants are your answer, your allies in the quiet fight against pain. You've lived a full, rich life, climbed stairs with toddlers clinging to your legs, hauled bags of soil or tools or groceries without a second thought, sat through endless meetings with your back curved like a question mark, stood on factory floors or danced at weddings until your feet begged for mercy. Joan's gardening marathons, hours bent over roses and tomato plants, Bill's hammer swings, pounding nails into wood for decades. That's your story too, written in the wear of your knees, the tightness of your hips, the creak of your shoulders. Pain's the echo of all that action, all that living. But pills, they're just a hush, a temporary mute button, covering the noise, not fixing the source, and they can pile on trouble if you lean too long. The Mayo Clinic warns of stomach irritation, think ulcers or that sour burn, kidney strain that creeps up silent, even heart risks with prolonged use of stuff like ibuprofen. These moves, they dig deeper, reach the roots, easing stiffness, boosting flow, working with your body's own rhythm, not numbing it or fighting it. Joan cut her ibuprofen in half. Cat-cow softened her mornings, gave her back a break from the garden's toll. Bill's Advil bottles gathering dust in the cabinet, knee lifts and rolls keep him steady, no chemical crutch needed, no sour stomach to nurse. The cat-cow stretch is your spine's best buddy. After 65 hours of sitting in that worn-out recliner, slumping over the table, or sleeping in a curled-up ball, tighten it up. Lock your hips in place and let pain sneak in like a thief. On all fours, mat or carpet under you for cushion, you flow like water. Inhale, dip your belly low, lift your gaze to the ceiling and your tailbone high. Cow pose, stretching your front, waking your back from its slumber. Exhale, arch up slow, chin to chest, cat pose, pulling tight spots loose, easing the knots that form overnight or after a day hunched over. 5 to 10 rounds, slow as a Sunday morning, and it's not some yoga boot camp you need a guru for. It's relief, pure and simple. Warming joints, stretching what's stuck, giving your spine and hips a chance to breathe. Joan's gardening hunch softened. 5 minutes of this, moving at her own pace, and her spine felt alive again. No more ugh when she straightened up. Research says it cuts spinal stiffness by 25%. No jolt, no jar, just a smooth glide, like greasing a rusty hinge that's been stuck too long. Tomorrow, start your day with it. Before the coffee's even brewed, hit the floor or the bed's edge if you're feeling extra creaky. Move slow and deliberate. Feel your spine breathe and say thanks as it wakes up to the world. Looser, lighter, ready. The seated knee lift is your knee's quiet pal. Chairs keep it safe. No wobbles or falls to worry about. Just sit, lift, hold, lower. 10 each leg, deliberate, calm, like a whisper to your joints that says, I've got you. Hips loosen up, knees get a warm-up without the grind. Blood flows where it's needed most. After 65, that's pure gold for legs that have carried you through thick and thin. Bill's carpentry knees were a chorus of complaints. Years of kneeling on hardwood, climbing ladders, standing on concrete had them popping and creaking like an old ship. 10 lifts daily, sitting in his favorite armchair, with the morning news on low, and he's stepping lighter. No wince, no pause. Just a steady stride to the mailbox and back, maybe even a little swagger. Studies show it drops knee pain by 20%, joints drink in the motion like a sponge, muscles relax, Circulation kicks in without a fight or a fuss. Tomorrow, post-coffee, sit, lift one knee toward your chest, feel the creak fade a little, then the other, steady as you go, easing into your morning without a battle or a stumble. The shoulder roll with arm reach, it's upper body bliss. Roll 5 times, reach 5, slow and sure, like a soft reset for shoulders that have borne the weight of years. Roll them up toward your ears like you're shrugging off a long day, then back and down. Feel the tension unwind, the tightness slip. Then stretch an arm out, palm up, reach gentle like you're picking a flower from the air. Hold, switch, 5 each side. Shoulders that carried kids, swung hammers, typed reports, they unclench. Your chest opens. That slump from life's load lifts like a curtain rising. Bill's sawing ache dulled. He'd been hauling lumber for decades, and his arms paid the price with a throb that lingered like a bad memory. A week of rolls and reaches, standing by his kitchen counter while the kettle hummed, and he's grabbing jars off shelves. No grunt, no stab, just a smooth, well, look at that ease. Research says it cuts shoulder stiffness by 30%. Pain shrinks, your reach grows. You move with purpose again, not caution or dread. Tomorrow, give it a go. Stand or sit, roll those shoulders, stretch an arm, let your upper half sigh and stretch, free from the pinch that's been holding it hostage. Let's keep this going, because aging joints aren't here to ruin you. They're here to remind you, to nudge you toward moving smarter, not harder, and these 3 gentle moves are your toolkit, your quiet rebellion against the ache. You've lived a life worth telling, climbed mountains of laundry with toddlers in tow, hauled bags of feed or flour or files without blinking, sat through late-night shifts or danced until the band packed up. Joan's hours bent over her roses, coaxing blooms from stubborn soil. Bill's decades pounding nails into wood, building homes and dreams. That's your legacy too, written in the wear of your knees, the tightness of your hips, the creak of your shoulders that once shrugged off anything. Pain's the echo of that hustle, that heart. But pills, they're a quick hush, a cover-up, silencing the noise for an hour or two, not fixing what's underneath. And they bring their own troubles if you lean too long. The Mayo Clinic's not kidding. Stomach irritation can turn into ulcers or that sour burn that wakes you up. Kidney strain sneaks in silent and slow. Heart risks loom if you're popping NSAIDs like candy. These moves, they're roots, not band-aids. Easing stiffness, boosting flow, working with your body's own rhythm, not numbing it out or fighting it down. Joan cut her ibuprofen in half. Cat-cow softened her mornings, gave her back a break from the garden's toll, let her tend her flowers without a groan. Bill's Advil bottles gathering dust in the cabinet, knee lifts and rolls keep him steady, no chemical crutch needed, no sour stomach to nurse or grumble through. The cat-cow stretch is your spine's best buddy, a lifeline. After 65 hours of sitting in that worn-out recliner, slumping over the table with a crossword, or sleeping in a curled-up ball like a hedgehog, tighten it up. Lock your hips in a vise and let pain sneak in like a thief in the night. On all fours, matter carpet under you for a soft landing. Towel if your knees or wrists fuss. You flow like water over stones. Inhale, dip your belly low, lift your gaze to the ceiling and your tailbone high. Cow pose, stretching your front, waking your back from its grumpy slumber, easing the ache that settles in. Exhale, arch up slow, chin to chest, cat pose, pulling tight spots loose, unknotting the tension that forms overnight or after a day bent over a sink or a shovel. 5 to 10 rounds, slow as a Sunday morning with nowhere to be. And it's not some yoga boot camp you need a guru or a spandex outfit for. It's relief, pure and simple, warming joints, stretching what's stuck, giving your spine and hips a chance to breathe and move again. Joan's gardening hunch softened. 5 minutes of this, moving at her own pace, no rush, and her spine felt alive again. No more ugh or ow when she straightened up to admire her roses. Research says it cuts spinal stiffness by 25%. No jolt, no jar, just a smooth glide, like greasing a rusty hinge that's been stuck too long, whining for attention. Tomorrow, start your day with it. Before the coffee's even brewed or the dog's barking for breakfast, hit the floor or the bed's edge if you're feeling extra creaky. Move slow and deliberate. Feel your spine breathe and say thanks as it wakes up to the world. Looser, lighter, ready for whatever you throw at it. The seated knee lift is your knee's quiet pal, a move so gentle it's almost sneaky. Chairs keep it safe. No wobbles or falls to fret over. Just sit, lift, hold, lower. 10 each leg, deliberate, calm, like a whisper to your joints that says, I've got you covered. Hips loosen up, knees get a warm-up without the grind or the groan. Blood flows where it's needed most. After 65, that's pure gold for legs that have carried you through thick and thin, through rain and shine, through every step of life's wild ride. Bill's carpentry knees were a chorus of complaints. Years of kneeling on hardwood floors, climbing rickety ladders, standing on concrete slabs had them popping and creaking like an old ship swing in the harbor. 10 lifts daily, sitting in his favorite armchair with the morning news murmuring low, and he's stepping lighter. No wince, no pause. Just a steady stride to the mailbox and back, maybe even a little swagger in his step like the old days. Studies show it drops knee pain by 20%. Joints drink in the motion like a sponge soaking up water. Muscles relax, circulation kicks in without a fight or a fuss. No need to push past what feels right. Tomorrow post-coffee, sit, lift one knee toward your chest. Feel the creak fade a little, then the other, steady as you go, easing into your morning without a battle or a stumble. Without that, maybe I can't whisper in your ear. The shoulder roll with arm reach, it's upper body bliss, a move so soft it's almost a secret. Roll 5 times, reach 5, slow and sure, like a soft reset for shoulders that have borne the weight of years and kept on going. Roll them up toward your ears like you're shrugging off a long, hard day, then back and down. Feel the tension unwind, the tightness slip away like sand through your fingers. Then stretch an arm out, palm up. Reach gentle like you're picking a flower from the air or waving to a friend across the street. Hold a beat, switch. 5 each side. Shoulders that carried kids on piggyback rides, swung hammers through wood, typed reports till midnight. They unclench, your chest opens wide. That slump from life's load lifts like a curtain rising on a new scene. Bill's sawing ache dulled. He'd been hauling lumber for decades, swinging tools till his arms throbbed like a drumbeat, a pain that lingered like a bad memory you can't shake. A week of rolls and reaches, standing by his kitchen counter while the kettle hummed its morning song, and he's grabbing jars off shelves. No grunt, no stab, just a smooth, well, look at that ease that surprised even him. Research says it cuts shoulder stiffness by 30%. Pain shrinks, your reach grows, you move with purpose again, not caution or dread, not that better not hesitation that creeps in. Tomorrow, give it a go. Stand or sit, roll those shoulders, stretch an arm, let your upper half sigh and stretch, free from the pinch that's been holding it hostage, free to reach and lift and live. This is your body, your power. Aging joints don't own you. They nudge you to move smarter, not harder, to listen instead of push through. Pills mask the noise, slap a temporary mute on the ache. These moves mend the source. Gentle, yours to wield. No cost but a few minutes of your day. No side effects to dodge. Joan Garden's longer now. Cat-cow, knee lifts keep her steady. No groan. No, I'll pay for this later dread. Bill builds birdhouses again. Rolls keep his arms loose, his grin back, his hands steady on the wood. Tomorrow, pick one, 5 minutes. Feel it shift. Feel it settle. Feel it work. My Aunt Peg, 66, started with knee lifts after her morning tea. Thought pain was forever, she says, smiling as she walks the dog. Leash in hand, step sure. It's not. Ease is, relief is, and it's right here, waiting for you to claim it. Let's dig a little deeper, because these moves aren't just random. They're tailored, precise, built on how your body works after 65. That cat-cow stretch? It's not just a stretch, it's motion therapy, coaxing your spine to flex and extend, waking up the tiny muscles along your vertebrae that stiffen when you're still too long. After years of bending, over sinks, desks, kids, your back's like a spring that's lost its bounce. This brings it back, bit by bit, without forcing it. Joan's mornings went from ouch to oh. No more hobbling to the kettle, just a smoother start. The seated knee lift, it's a joint whisperer. Lifting that knee fires up your hip flexors, those sneaky muscles that tighten when you sit or stand too much, pulling your knees into a grumble. Bill's stares stopped being a foe. Each lift lubed his joints, eased the grind. And that shoulder roll with reach, it's a tension buster. Rolling shrugs off years of hunching, reaching stretches the chest muscles that shorten with age, giving your shoulders room to breathe. Bill's jars aren't a struggle now, just a reach, a grab, a win. This isn't about perfection. Your knees might still creak a little. Your shoulders might not swing like they did at 40. But it's progress, not pills. Relief you feel, not just cover. Tomorrow try one, or all three if you're feeling it. 5 minutes, maybe 10. See what shifts. Joan stacks them. Cat-cow at dawn, knee lifts at lunch, rolls before bed. Bill picks and chooses. Rolls when his arms nag, lifts when his knees fuss. Peg mixes it up, lifts one day, cat-cow the next. Point is, it's yours. Your pace, your win. So what's your first move? Tomorrow try one, cat-cow to wake your spine, knee lift to soothe your legs, shoulder roll to free your arms. Pick it, feel it, own it. Drop a comment. Did it soothe? How'd it land for you? I'm all ears, ready to hear your story. If this vibes, smash that like, subscribe, and yell I'm in below. Let's keep this going. Your joints deserve this. You deserve this. This body that's carried you deserves this. See you next time.